How goes it? I'm Pablo. I like to think myself as a pretty reasonable person, but I need something new. Something that'll make people go, what the f are you doing, Pablo? Nope.
Guess who's back?
How the f?
That's right, I'm talking about Splatoon, the IP that gave Nintendo the confidence to give a shit again, selling around 5 million units and becoming one of the Wii U's best-selling titles, but that's not really saying much because we're talking about the Wii U here. But for the first title of the new IP, it wasn't bad. The gameplay was good, the graphics looked okay, the weapons, maps, and music were a blast, though people weren't sold on it, since A, the other 99% of the population couldn't get their hands on it, and B, when you try to show someone the gameplay, it was usually met with this response.
Yo!
On October of 2016, the Nintendo NX officially became the Nintendo Switch. After non-stop teases from Nintendo themselves and fans, we finally got a trailer showcasing the console itself, and many people who weren't normal noticed the tease of a potential sequel of Splatoon. Now keep in mind, I got my Wii U in spring of 2016, so when this trailer came out in October, it hasn't even been a full year, so seeing this left me with a little bit of buyer's remorse. Splatoon 2 was fully revealed during the Nintendo Switch Showcase in January of 2017 with its own trailer, alongside other games and features that would later come to the Switch. Marketing wasn't as heavy this time around compared to the last time since the Nintendo Switch had a successful launch. It got updates from time to time revealing new maps, weapons, and all new Salmon Run, with the summer release of July 21st, 2017 with new features unlocked, and guess what?
I actually gave a fuck!
I didn't get it on launch since this time trying to get the Switch was a major challenge. They were sold out everywhere, but I didn't give up that easily. With the help of some birthday money and babysitting money, I was able to snag the last neon and red blue Nintendo Switch with a copy of Splatoon 2 on July 30th, 2017, and my god, buying a console myself with my own money was really something special. Everyone remembers their first time.
Splatoon 2 was really something special to me. It was the first game I actually got to experience everything it had to offer from start to finish. It's a good game, but like all other modern Nintendo games, it has that special piece of bullshit that I missed out on, so it's time to revisit it and see what I missed.
Opening the game. Where's the cool drums?
Then how can you call this a sequel?
Alright, creating our character. We finally have some new hairstyles, more eye colors, they even added more choices of shorts. How overwhelming!
Never thought those words would be coming out of my mouth.
Still gonna turn off motion controls because doing this looks fucking ridiculous when they see what you're playing.
Fight me.
Going into the lobby and getting scared of how close our Inkling is to the screen, we can see that not much has been changed in the menu. Oh what, a new mode that lets me play with my friends locally? Look at these guys. Do they look like they would willingly play this?
I could always threaten them to.
Holy fuck, they really changed it up!
This is the Switch, right?
So if your eyes work, you can see that Splatoon 2 has not really changed much. The graphics look better, the movement feels mostly the same, but I'm using this instead of this, so that's better.
Where's the map?
As you can see, there's no gamepad, which means using the map doesn't matter. Makes it easier though, being able to push a button on the D-pad to super jump to teammates, but if we learned something from last time, good fucking luck. Since this is a Switch game, let's take it out of the dock and see how it handles in handheld mode. The game runs well, but oh my god, this game put a curse on my Joy-Cons. Depending on how you play, the Joy-Cons start to show some wear and drift after a while, which means that's where money goes down the toilet. No one man needs this many Joy-Cons.
I could be playing the guitar with this money.
We still have our usual turf war. The side that covers the most turf with their ink wins. Use sub-weapons and specials to win against your enemies, or just be a huge dick, and that's it. This gets a pass since turf war is the main selling point, so there isn't much you can do to change it. Ranked battles. This time around it contains the same 3 modes plus one more. Clam Blitz. Collect 10 clams to create a big giant football, and if your team is good enough, pass them around until the meter is full. Tower Control. Tower Control's new feature is checkpoints, but the Rainmaker got a whole new rework. Charging it up and firing releases one big bubble that explodes upon landing, and Splat Zones. I honestly don't notice anything new here, but what makes Ranked bad is all 4 modes have their own separate ranks, so you can be C+ on Splat Zones and then A- on Clam Blitz. It really depends on what you get when you play, which brings us to more complaining, the map rotation.
Oh, come the fuck on!
So instead of the bullshit 4-hour rotation, it's now a 2-hour rotation with 23 maps this time around, but why? Why can't we vote for maps like Smash and Mario Kart? Why did this news anchor bullshit? And they even made it worse by adding this record spinning bullshit to make it last longer. So right off the bat, my favorite maps are The Reef, Inkblot Academy, Starfish Main Stage, Muscle Forge Fitness, Malcolm Sturgeon Shipyard, and some of the old ones from the first game are back for more, but there are some maps that wouldn't be my first pick for the sequel. Definitely not Kelp Dome, or especially Camp Triggerfish.
It's fine.
At least the other maps are decent, but it can't get worse than, oh my f***ing god. Yeah, I got no excuses, these maps are shit. The maps aren't the only bullshit here. The weapons, who approved these? All the main weapons for the first game are back, and the newest entry are the Splat Dealies. 2 guns that give you the ability to do a dodge roll, but sometimes when the servers hate you, it doesn't even matter. The newest feature is the Splat Roller can do one of these, and the Charger can do this. But you can't do that in the Scope Sniper though. The newest piece of shit here is the Game Over Bucket, why? The Clash Blaster, you should be fired. Umbrella weapons, who raised you? Any of the buckets, fuck out. And to any and all minigun users, I'm sorry, but this is for you. One thing I will give Splatoon 2 credit for is all the specials are brand new. None from the first one are reused other than the sub-weapons. They just make sense now. The Inkjet, the Splashdown, the Baller, the Tentamissiles, the Stingray, the Ink Armor, but there's also the Ink Storm, the Booyah Bomb, the Stampers, the Bubble Blower, which kinda ruined it for me. All the sub-weapons from the first one return. The Echo Locator is now exclusively a sub-weapon, and the Seekers have now been reduced to a fucking curling iron. Other than that, the newest ones are the Auto Bomb, which lock on the targets if you're within its radius. The Fizzy Bomb. Shake it up and throwing it will cause 3 big explosions, and the Torpedo. When tossed, it'll lock on and follow a target, which if it hits, will break into 6 small explosions.
This'll make for an interesting search history.
There's also the survival mode called Salmon Run, which in my opinion isn't anything new, but it is a good fun mode to play when you're bored of regular battles. Just a PvE where you fight bosses and collect eggs. That's basically it. One thing I did hate about the mode was back then it was only available for a few days, not every day like it is now. But other than that, it's okay. And the Octo expansion, Splatoon 2's very first paid DLC. Just gonna create a character and... uh-oh. What the fuck? Oh shit. Splatoon 2 was a good game at launch, but over time the game received weapons and maps that just kinda ruined the game for me. After the final Splatfest, I put the game down for a good 6 months and returned back to the first Splatoon. And I gotta say, the first Splatoon is way more fun than the second. Yeah, the hackers are annoying, but at least the game is casual enough to feel playable. Playing Splatoon 2 in 2023. Why? The third one's out. There's no reason to go back. I went back to the first game because it was the first entry on an old console. That's nostalgic. Going back to a game that hasn't even developed object permanence yet, on a console that I basically use every day, isn't doing it for me, so I see no point in buying this nowadays. Oh, what, you want to play the story mode? Watch it on YouTube, you're really not missing out on much. I beat it during a tornado. Other than that, Splatoon 2 has server-sided lobbies, horrible connection that not even Ethernet can save it, and non-stop bullshit coming from the weapons to the maps themselves. This was a game that I was excited to play when I got my hands on it, but now, it's a game that's just gonna rot on my shelf next to Sonic Forces.
1,500 hours and a posted bond later, that's pretty much everything Splatoon 2 has to offer. Like I said, it's a solid game, but with 3 out, it's just piss useless. I have my fair share of issues with 3, but that's for a later date, since it's still new. Now time to address the real issue here. Who the fuck actually drinks orange juice with pulp?